Hey there guys, welcome back to the Sports Stuff video. Today we're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals and my offseason plan to turn this team around, fix this defense, and get back to playoff and Super Bowl contention with Joe Burrow. So if you guys enjoy, please like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it. So, Cincinnati Bengals, obviously, we feel like their offense is pretty ready to win. You have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Chase Brown really came on this last year, getting over 1,000 yards rushing. Offensive line is good enough. Not amazing, but it's good enough, in my opinion, to make a playoff run. If they have a really good defense, definitely make a Super Bowl run. But let's get into it. Starting off with cuts and/or trades, we're at positive $46.9 million. That's a great number to be sitting at without any restructures, any cuts or trades. That's a great number. You have to try and fix this defense. Next year, you have a positive 135. The year after, 182. So lots and lots of room to add on to this team and get back into playoff contention. First cut and/or trade is going to be Trey Hendrickson. I'm going to do a tag and trade on Trey Hendrickson. He had 9 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 11 run stops, 23 pressures, all in 7 games. He was on pace for having another great season. What is that? That's 10 plus sacks, over 70 pressures, over 30 run stops. Like, that's a great year for Trey Hendrickson, especially because he didn't want to be there. I think there is a 0% chance they don't tag and trade him. At worst, they'll franchise tag him and he'll play another year in Cincinnati. But I do think they want to extend him long term, and I just don't see a world where he walks without them doing anything. So I think if they're gonna let him walk, they're gonna tag him, they're gonna trade him. Could be too cheap to use their leverage. They could not want to franchise tag him because they don't want to pay that initial fee to franchise tag him. Now they could just tag him really quickly and trade him really quickly and already have something in place to be done. But I am going to move off of Trey Hendrickson and get something out of him. 1 year revised deal did not include no tag clause. So that was something that I looked into before I did a tag and trade for this video. I want to see, when he did a 1 year revised deal, did he add a no trade clause? There's not any of that. So he can be tagged and traded. He's a dominant edge. I don't think they can let him walk for nothing. When healthy, he's a top 5, top 10 edge rusher. Very underrated. I believe he led the league in sacks last year in 2024. So definitely something I would want on my team if I was another opponent. So I'm going to be in Cincinnati, and I'm going to trade him. I'm going to get a 2026 second round pick for number 62 overall for Trey Hendrickson. New England, they get Trey Hendrickson. That's a great deal for both teams. New England, they get a dominant edge rusher to pair with Milton Williams and Christian Barmore. That is an absolute elevation to their defensive line core. While D tackle is definitely a premium in the NFL, Trey Hendrickson, they can extend him long term. They have a lot of money with Drake May on a rookie contract. They need to get better. I think Trey Hendrickson absolutely elevates the floor of that team. While Cincinnati, they get a second round pick. They get a top 65 pick as well. So really good pick for them. And I think both sides walk away pretty happy. New England, they get an edge rusher they can extend for the next 2 or 3 years while they're in this window right now. They just lost in the Super Bowl. So they're in their window right now to try and go back while he's on a rookie deal. In Cincinnati, they get a young guy they can add to this team and really try and push forward in a more cost-effective way. Next, we're going to do some cuts. We're going to cut Ted Karras, save $4 million. He's not a bad center. I just don't want him on this team for $4 million. If we can do a cut and then bring him back onto the team for a less number, that's a possibility. But I think Ted Karras is one of those guys I think could end up on a playoff contending team that's more guaranteed to make the playoffs. I'm also going to cut Cody Ford, cut him for $2.9 million. He's not a guaranteed starter. That's someone that is a fringe starter if needed, but I want to move off of him and get better at the position, save $2.9 million. Then linebacker Oren Burks, I'm going to also move off of for $2.3 million. Again, I think that's a pretty solid number to move off of a linebacker who's just a depth piece for you, not a true starter. So I'm going to save myself $9 million against the cap. Now in restructures, no restructures. I don't want to push any money back into the future if I don't have to. This team, they're positive in the cap space by almost $50 million before any moves. We did some more moves, and they're positive over $100 million in the next 2 years. No reason to restructure Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, or T. Higgins. So now, after all the cuts and trades, you're at positive $56 million this year. That is a lot of money to make a lot of improvements. So entering the re-signings and extensions, the first one we're going to do is Geno Stone. Geno Stone, their starting safety, former Baltimore Raven, who's been really good for them. He had 79 tackles, 2 interceptions, 25 run stops, 2 sacks, and 11 pressures this last year in Cincinnati. Ball hawking safety. There was 1 year he led the league in interceptions, is constantly trying to jump routes, can stop the run. He's been a safety valve recently. Definitely something you can rely on in the secondary. Jumps the ball sometimes too much, which leads to big plays. But again, when you're this depleted on the team, you got to keep the guys that want to be there and guys that definitely have been proven that they're worth your money already. I do think he could be a better run defender. A lot of those run stops are kind of, whiffed run blocks on other guys that he just kind of cleans up. But I think Geno Smith is definitely valuable and worth to be in this team for the future. So I'm going to give him a 2-year, $16 million deal, $7.5 million guaranteed. That is 46% guaranteed. So basically, if it really sucks after the 1 year, you can move on from him. Maybe go with one of the young guys already on roster. Maybe you draft someone, but I'm willing to give him at least a 1-year fully guaranteed deal and bring him back. And then next year, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, see where this team is at in 1 year. Next, I want to extend DJ Turner. He is currently on the last year of his rookie deal. I want to extend him. Last year, he had 33 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 5 run stops, 11 pressures, and 13 pass breakups, which was second in the NFL. He's developed into a quality corner. I'm not going to say he's a top-end corner, but definitely someone I wouldn't mind having on my team. Definitely one of those roster guys that the fan base falls in love with because he just does his job. He's not flashy. He's not the best in the world. He just does his job consistently. He attacks the ball in air, always getting his hands somewhere in the passing lane to try and get a pass breakup or an interception, or just make the wide receiver second guess himself before the ball lands in his lap. And he fights for the catch. Even when the guy does catch the ball, his arm, if it's in the pocket, he's trying to rip that ball out of their frame. So definitely someone that I think is worthy of an extension. I'm gonna give him a 3-year, $31.5 million deal, $18 million guaranteed at 57% guaranteed. Again, this cornerback room is going to go over a lot of turnover the next year or two with Cam Taylor-Britt exiting, with, you already lost Joby Awuzie and Eli Apple in the last 2 years. I just think there's going to be a lot of turnover, and DJ Turner is someone I do not want to lose to another team. The next thing I want to extend is going to be Jordan Battle, the other safety opposite Geno Smith. Geno Stone. Sorry, not Geno Smith. Geno Stone. He had 76 tackles, 4 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 20 run stops, and 2 pass breakups. He's a turnover machine. He definitely is someone that, like Geno Stone, has been in the school of, hey, jump as many routes as possible. And if you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But turnovers are more important to us than anything else in football. That's where he comes. That's the school of football he comes from. And he's always in the right spot in pass coverage. Grown as a run blocker as well. Run defender as well. His rookie season was very rough, and I liked him coming out of college, but he's definitely developed into a very good starting safety. I want to give him a 3-year, $33 million deal, $18.5 million guaranteed at 56%. So very similar to the DJ Turner deal with the guarantees and the percentages, but just a guy that I think if you can get DJ Turner, Geno Stone, and Jordan Battle return, and just focus a lot of your money and energy on cornerback 1 and the defensive line, you feel very comfortable with that entering free agency. And saying that, entering free agency, we are at positive $51 million after those extensions and deals. So it only cost us about $6 million to get those 3 guys extended because they're already on the contract for 2026 outside of Geno Stone. So you get 3 of your core guys extended for the next 2 or 3 years. Very good, very good. So entering free agency, the number 1 guy I'm going to be going after is Rasheed Walker. I want to get someone that I can actually guarantee is going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years to protect Joe Burrow. Rasheed Walker had a 65 PFF grade, 70 pass blocking, 55 run blocker, 9 penalties, and 5 sacks allowed last year. He is the number 1 left tackle in free agency. So I want to land him and guarantee the protection for the next couple of years because we cannot draft offensive linemen to save our life if you're the front office for the Bengals. He's a tier 2 starting left tackle in the league. Definitely not in the upper echelon of guys, but definitely a starter and someone that it would be very highly coveted because of the lack of left tackles in the league. I think he's much better than Orlando Brown at this point. Orlando Brown, while he's been solid for Cincinnati, this last year and a half of games has been very rough for Orlando Brown. Not as good as a run blocker or pass blocker as his first 2 years with the Bengals. Needs to work on his penalty issue. 9 penalties, not okay. 5 sacks allowed. Again, I'm willing to live with that when you're a left tackle in the NFL going against some of the best edge rushers in the history of football. You're going to lose a lot of them. You're going to win a lot of them. I'm willing to eat that. And again, when it comes to left tackle in the NFL, Rasheed Walker is among the best of them because of how poor the average left tackle is in the big scheme of things. So I'm going to give him a 4-year, $75.5 million deal, $44.5 million guaranteed at 59%. I'm going to get him over here. I think there'll be a lot of familiarity with the Zach Taylor offense from the Matt LaFleur offense. A lot of similarities. They know each other. I believe they both come from the McVay tree. So already a lot of the stuff is going to be the same. So I think he'd be very comfortable coming over. And I think there's going to be a need at left tackle for the future. Orlando Brown is getting older. He's not as effective as he was in his younger years. I think Rasheed Walker is the pivot for them to go and get a franchise left tackle. Next, I'm going to sign is Clavon Chason. He has proven in New England that he is much better than his first couple of years. Now, I'm not willing to give him a multi-year deal. I want to give him on a 1-year deal and see, like, hey, is this a one-time thing in New England, or is this a sustained success? And I just don't see New England retaining him. I see him as a 1-year flyer New England did. It worked out. You let him walk, you get a comp pick. So listen, this last year as a pass rusher, he had 17 tackles, 9 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 19 run stops, and 54 pressures. Solid numbers for an edge rusher, almost eclipsed that double sack number. But I want to have him come on and really be a either high-end role player or a starter for us. He had a career-saving year in New England. This dude was about to be out of the league, and Mike Vrabel got the most out of him. He showed improvement in every way. He was better at getting to the quarterback. He was better at stunts. He was better at knowing when the run was coming to him and stopping and anchoring down and wrapping up a runner. So it really, really improved in every way he could. Lots of cleanup sacks, showed his motor. Just constantly, even if he got knocked down by his assignment, he still got back up and rushed after the quarterback or the running back. I love to see him as a rotation guy. Again, I don't know if he's going to be a starter. I think there's a lot of the teams in the league are going to be like, you know what, we're apprehensive of getting him a long-term deal. Let's give him a 1-year sizable raise from his number last year. And then if he has another great year, we know that Clavon Chason's for real. Or is it a byproduct of Milton Williams and Christian Barmore at D tackle? So I'm going to give him a 1-year, $10.5 million. And I'm willing to take that bet of saying, we're going to give you a lot of money. And this is going to be one of our premier free agent signings. And we're going to see what happens. So Clavon Chason is going to be the move. Next is going to be Jamari Salyer. Again, I said I want to improve both trenches. The offensive and defensive line need to get improved on, and this is where I'm doing it. So Jamari Salyer, I'm going to give him last year he had 62 PFF grade, 68 pass blocking, 62 run blocking, 6 penalties, and 4 sacks. You know, definitely this last year was the roughest of his career so far. A former 6th-rounder to being an okay starter. I think Good's a little bit of a too much nicety. I put in that slide. He's been an okay starter. Upgrade to all options on the roster. I think either guard spot, I'm very confident Jamari Salyer is an improvement on. Now, he did draft someone last year, so I'm willing to. I cannot remember his name. I get him, the Detroit Lions guard, mixed up. But I think Jamari Salyer could step in, play guard opposite of the rookie that you had last year, who played pretty good. And you need to protect Joe Burrow, keep him upright, stop these injuries. So Rasheed Walker and Jamari Salyer, those are 2 major additions to the offensive line. I'm going to give him a 3-year, $24.5 million deal, $13 million guaranteed at 53%. And I think the trenches is where they get to spend a lot of money because they got to keep Joe Burrow healthy and get after the opposing quarterback. So yeah, that's going to be the move. I have Rasheed Walker, Clavon Chason, and Jamari Salyer. And I'm going to add one more. I'm going to add Sean Rhyan. So another Green Bay Packer who's entering free agency. I want to get him on this team ASAP. He had last year a 59 PFF grade, 39 pass blocking, 67 run blocking, 5 penalties, and 1 sack. He gets an upgrade on a long-term contract at center. Ted Karras, very old. He's 33 years old. Sean Rhyan is at shot in the dark at a younger center. PFF is too harsh on his pass blocking. He's at worst average. I think he's absolutely a starting quality center in the NFL. And if you're the Green Bay Packers and you sign Rasheed Walker, I think you can absolutely get Sean Rhyan as well and get him as like a package duo because they know each other. They're familiar with the scheme of McVay and Zach Taylor. So I think there's a lot of similarity. And I think both of them coming over would be a huge plus. He has experience at both guard spots, but I do think he would start at center with Jamari Salyer at guard opposite of the rookie he just had, with Rasheed Walker at left tackle, and then Amarius Mims at right tackle. That's a really good offensive line that you're feeling good about. And I'm going to give him a 2-year, $16.5 million deal, $5.5 million guaranteed at 33%. So because he has not really had a lot of starting experience, I'm going to backload that contract. It's basically a glorified 1-year, $5.5 million fully guaranteed. And if he's not playing good, you can cut him after the year, save $11 million in cap space. But if he's playing good, you can then extend him after year 1 and work out a different kind of number. But it's a glorified 1-year, $5.5 million. That's what it is, basically. Next is going to be Nakobe Dean. Like I said, I want to get this linebacker core as well. The front 7 of defense is definitely where I want to get a lot of the improvements on defense. So Nakobe Dean, I'm going to give him 43. He had 43 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 23 run stops, and 10 pressures. He's a great blitzing linebacker, loves playing the line of scrimmage. So I want him to do exactly that in Cincinnati. The linebackers in Cincinnati were all rookies last year. all their starters. So Nakobe Dean can come in, set that floor for this young linebacker room, elevate it to a championship caliber, because it's a championship caliber starting linebacker, right? He was a linebacker for the Eagles Super Bowl run. He was one of the better linebackers as well that year. And I think he can be the leader for the defense, a very young defense. He can come in, set the culture, like, hey, this is what you have to do to win. If you guys aren't going to meet the standard, you're not going to be the guy here. So I'm going to give him a 4-year, $48.5 million deal, $25 million guaranteed at 52%. I think this is the exact type of culture move that you want in Cincinnati of, listen, I've won a Super Bowl. I've seen what it takes to win a Super Bowl. If you are not willing to meet this standard, you got to go. Because I'm here to win a Super Bowl with Joe Burrow. If you're not here to do the same thing, you got to go. And if you're a young guy, this is the type of level that you have to get to win a Super Bowl. I think that's exactly what you need in this defense. I think that Kobe Dean, give him the green dot, let him be the signal caller. That's exactly what he can do for his career. And it's a great number for him. 4-year, $48 million. I don't think the Eagles are going to be able to match that. He would then have to walk if he wants to get that kind of a deal. And Cincinnati would welcome him with open arms. And next is going to be Samson Ebukam, another edge rusher. This last year, he had 26 tackles, 3 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, 17 run stops, and 23 pressures. Be the veteran in the edge room. You know, once you lose Trey Hendrickson, I also let Joseph Asai walk, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I let Joseph Asai walk. So you have no edge rushers that are been on this team longer than 3 years. So Samson Ebukam and Clavon Chasen could come in, be the veterans in the room, with Samson Ebukam being the 32-year-old who's been around the NFL, knows what it takes to be a winning player. He's an okay run defender, but to me, he's more of that utility edge rusher that can kind of come in on those third, fourth edge rusher relief snaps. Because you have Malik Murphy and you have Stewart. Oh my God, Shamar Stewart. They're young, they're not reliable yet, so I'm willing to have Samson Ebukam, Clavon Chasen, Murphy, and Stewart. That's your 4-man rotation. You have 2 veterans. One just went to the Super Bowl. Another's been around the league for 8 years, so they both know what it takes to be a winner in the NFL. They can help these young guys get ready for the NFL, get mentally ready as well, and set the standard in that edge room. So I'm gonna give him a 1-year, $4.5 million deal. Then some other signings: Ardarius Washington, backup safety, nothing special. I think he's a quality safety in the NFL. Nothing crazy. Kendall Vilder, veteran nickel corner. Again, just get someone on that body in that secondary room with a lot more experience than the guys who are currently there. Thayer Munford, backup right tackle. That's what he's been for the last 4 years, the backup right tackle. Has experience starting as well. Verdarian Lowe, same thing, left tackle, Vikings, Patriots, has started as well, but he's going to come here and be a backup. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, be that deep threat, that veteran deep threat for the wide receiver room. Then Jimmy Garoppolo. I think him and Joe Burrow play very similar. I'm shocked that Jimmy Garoppolo has not been a backup for Cincinnati yet, but I want him to come over, be that veteran in the room with Joe Burrow as well. And if Joe Burrow goes down again, I trust Jimmy Garoppolo to be about just winning, right? Right? He will throw the easy balls to Jamar Chase, throw the easy balls to T. Higgins. You could bring back Joe Flacco, but I think, again, Joe Flacco, Jimmy Garoppolo, I think Jimmy Garoppolo has a higher floor. This dude just went to the Super Bowl like 3 or 4 years ago. I do think he has some quality football left. And I think the floor of Jimmy Garoppolo is still 7-8 wins. Just his ceiling is like 11 wins. So you don't want to rely on him, but I think he can win you 2 or 3 games if Joe Burrow goes down with injury. So enter the draft, you got positive $14 million. I'm feeling very good about that. Positive $14 million entering the draft after all the additions I made. This is basically a brand new starting defense for the most part, except for the guys that I extended and rookies. Everyone else is brand new. So I'm feeling very good about that. Positive 14 million. You're positive 60 next year. So you can go again next year and get even more guys to bring to this team. But entering the draft, you're sitting at number 10. You're feeling comfortable. And here's what I do in the NFL draft. At number 10, I grab cornerback Mansour Delane from LSU. Mansour is a true lockdown number 1 corner. He is my number 1 corner in this class. I think Mansour Delane is not much better than Avion Terrell, but I definitely think Mansour Delane is like you just watch the tape, watch how he plays, watch his fluid movability. This is the real deal. This is a real legit NFL corner at LSU. He doesn't let up an inch of space in coverage. He has great ball skills. And I think you can build an elite secondary with Geno Stone, DJ Turner, Dax Hill, Mansour Delane. You're building something there. And that could be something like year 1 is already paying dividends. But Mansour Delane, I'm feeling very confident being that cornerback 1 for this team for the future. Then at 241, round 2, pick 41, I'm going to grab Lee Hunter, a D tackle from Texas Tech. Lee Hunter, I think he's a future starter at D tackle. You still have BJ Hill on the team, so he doesn't need to be thrust into a starter immediately, but BJ Hill can kind of take him under his wing for a year, be the agent vet for this young D tackle, and prepare for when he's gone. He's a great run defender. He can take advantage of one-on-ones as well in pass rushing. He's 6'4", 330, very wide body. I'm a big fan of Lee Hunter in the second round. And I think the Cincinnati Bengals are the exact type of team where you have that aged veteran who knows how to win, has been in the team for a lot of years, been around the NFL. So in his last year at the team, you draft Lee Hunter, he takes him under his wing, be his vet for the year, and next year can be that bona fide starter for you. Then with that pick that you trade for Trey Hendrickson, I'm going to grab Connor Lew, the center from Auburn. So this kind of gives you a chance where Sean Ryan isn't performing. You have Connor Lew. But if Sean Ryan does perform, you can always move him to guard. You move Connor Lew to guard. But at worst, Connor Lew is your future at the position. Starting caliber center. He can sit for a year behind Sean Ryan. Doesn't need the forced starts like Dylan Fairchild. In my notes, Dylan Fairchild is the rookie guard that played very well this year. So he doesn't need the forced start like you had to do with Dylan Fairchild, throw him in the Inferno. You have Sean Ryan, Connor Lew can sit behind him for a year, get ready to play, and in year 2, be that full-time starter. You need to invest in the offensive line to keep Joe Burrow healthy. He's a great pass blocker, quality run blocker. My only issue, this team cannot draft offensive linemen. They have not been able to do it. Now, hopefully Dylan Fairchild was the break in the mold where now they can start drafting offensive linemen very well, but they have not been able to draft offensive linemen, whether it's Cordell Volson or any of the other guys that have been on this roster for the last 5 years. They can't do it. So hopefully Connor Lew can break that right after Dylan Fairchild and get a new culture going on the offensive line. Then at 72, I'm going to grab Justin Jolly, the tight end from North Carolina State. He is a long-term swing at a starting tight end. He can receive, he can block, I think you can learn a lot from Mike Gesicki because Mike Gesicki is a starter. He's the veteran. He's been around the league. He's been in this team for 3 or 4 years now. He's the guy that Joe Burrow trusts. Justin Jolly, same thing like I did with Connor Lew. I'm sorry, with Lee Hunter and BJ Hill. I want Mike Gesicki to take Justin Jolly under his wing and teach him the NFL. Teach him, here's what you have to do to be great. Here's what Joe Burrow likes. And I think this is a great room for Jolly to learn from. Very veteran tight end group. Very veteran playing experience. I just think it's a great spot for Justin Jolly, and I think it'd be a great fit for a pass-heavy Cincinnati Bengals team that when they do run, use their tight ends a lot. And then at 110, I'm going to grab Nick Singleton, the running back from Penn State, to be the backup to Chase Brown. Hard-nosed physical runner, paired to Chase Brown's pass catching, and it's more of elusive running style. He breaks tackles very well. It's a 4th-round swing at a long-term backup. Nothing awful. I'm not a big fan of the running back room behind Chase Brown. So this is kind of someone that I like enough to draft him. And it's a 4th round. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Nothing crazy. Then at 188, I'm going to grab Vincent Anthony Jr. from Duke, the edge. Vincent, he's 6'6", 260. He has very long arms. I can't wait for his pro day and to find out how long arms he has. Because when you watch him play, he is reaching around offensive linemen and grabbing running backs from really far away. So I'm very intrigued to see where he actually comes out once his measurables come out. He doesn't project as a pass rusher, definitely more of a run stopper. And if he added more weight, I think he can actually be more of a Calais Campbell D tackle. He's very tall, very long arms. If he adds weight, Calais Campbell is my comp for him. Someone who can just do everything for you at a very big size, be a mountain of a man, and that mountain that can move offensive linemen. That's the long-term projection for him. That's the high end of what you can get for him. A dude who's in the league for 11 years and is bounces around 1-year deals, but is so valuable that he can never really leave the league. Then at 198, I'm going to have James Thompson Jr. from Illinois. Run-stopping D-tackle. You have his depth. Again, you invest in defensive line room a lot in this draft, as you see with Lee Hunter, Vincent Anthony, James Thompson, my next pick. That's 4 defensive linemen I've drafted, including the guys I signed for agency. This is the big focus. Guys that for specific reasons are on this team. James Thompson and Vincent Anthony are my run-stopping swings. Then in the 7th round, I'm taking my pass rushing swing and Keyshawn James Newby, the edge from New Mexico. He has back-to-back 10-sack seasons. That's impressive in New Mexico. That's an awful football team, and back-to-back 10-sack seasons. That's great. He's not super big. He's 6'2", 244. He's a little underweight, a little undersized, but he had 4 batted balls this year. Show that he wants to make plays, right? This is a dude who, no matter his limitations, no matter how bad his team is, he wants to go out there and make plays. That type of fire and heart, you can't teach. You can't preach it. You can't teach it. It's just born in you. And Keyshawn James Newby has that in him. I think if you can get him as a 7th round pick and say, hey, go out and earn a roster spot, he will go out and earn a roster spot. This dude will be on the team. And again, as a backup edge rusher to be that pass rusher, I'll take it. And as a 7th round swing, I'll take that swing for him, because you can't teach heart and passion. You can't teach effort. He wants it. He's going to get it. You can't teach that. I keep saying it, I know, but that's why I want him in the 7th round. So I'm going to grab him after back-to-back 10-plus sack seasons. So my depth chart was deleted. I don't know why it deleted my depth chart. It's empty. It's blank. My next slide is blank. For some reason, my depth chart did not save. But with all these additions, I feel pretty good about the defensive line. With the rookies the last 2 or 3 years that you drafted, you add on Samson Ebukam, veteran. You add on Clavon Chasen, veteran who's had a career year. You add in Lee Hunter, Vincent Anthony, James Thompson, Keyshawn James Newby. That's a lot of guys you're adding to this room with a lot of potential and can play specific roles for your team immediately. At linebacker, you add Nakobe Dean. That's amazing to add to this very young linebacker room, because I don't really want to draft any linebacker. I think that you drafted a lot of them last year, so I want to get those guys more playing time still. But adding Nakobe Dean to be that green dot, the signal caller for the defense. And then for the secondary, you bring back nearly everyone, but you add in Mansour Delane as your cornerback one for the future, next to the Dax Hill, next to DJ Turner, next to Geno Stone, next to let me find his name. Next to Jordan Battle. That is a very good up-and-coming young secondary that I think can be very good right away. With a young linebacker room, a very deep defensive line room, I'm a big fan of that. And the offensive side of the ball, you basically reshape the entire offensive line with Connor Lew for the future, Sean Ryan for the now, Jamari Salyer starts at guard, Rasheed Walker starts at left tackle, Amarius Mims at right tackle, Dylan Fairchild at right guard. That's a good offensive line. That's a lot of potential. With the offensive weapons that you already have that you don't really add outside of Justin Jolly, I'm a big fan of this offseason plan. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think of my Cincinnati Bengals offseason plan? Is it good? Do you think I should have added more money on the defensive line? Do you think I did a good balance of let's fix the offensive line to keep Joe Burrow healthy, while also investing in high-end role players on the defensive line and bet on this everyone playing together? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.